What does the anatomy of true greatness actually look like? Well, today in this explainer, we're going to decode the ultimate system of success behind one of the most utterly dominant athletes in human history. We're talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. We are breaking down the exact, uncompromising methodology that took a skinny kid from the island of Madeira and transformed him into the greatest footballer of all time. And I promise you, by the end of this, you are going to look at your own daily routine in a completely different light.
So, what is it that actually separates Cristiano Ronaldo from literally everyone else out there? Look, I need you to ditch the idea of natural talent right now. Just toss out the whole concept of luck. Forget about genetics, because when Ronaldo was young, he wasn't the fastest player on the pitch. He wasn't the strongest either. His defining factor wasn't some physical gift. No, it was a psychological weapon. It was a mindset so unique and honestly so intense that most people will simply never understand it.
Section 1. Beyond talent, the obsession advantage. Okay, let's dive into this.
You know, when Ronaldo first arrived at Manchester United, a lot of critics just dismissed him with a label. They literally called him a show pony. They claimed he was way more interested in flashy tricks and step-overs than actually putting the ball in the back of the net. So what was his response to that? He weaponized the criticism. See, most people's approach to hard work is just tempering motivation. It's working hard for a few months to hit a short-term goal, right? Like losing a few pounds or passing an exam. But Ronaldo's secret is working hard for life. Every single day is approached with this relentless, unbreakable obsession. He didn't just want to be good. He wanted to silence every single critic by completely outworking peers who honestly were arguably far more naturally gifted than him.
Obsession beats talent every single time. Just let that heavy truth sink in for a second. Now, I want you to ask yourself, looking at your own life and your own ambitions, are you merely interested in your goals, or are you truly, undeniably obsessed? Because interest fades when things get hard. Obsession is what gets you to the gym when everyone else has quit.
Section 2. The architecture of relentless work.
Let's peel back the curtain a bit and look at the microscopic details of his daily routine. Because this relentless work ethic isn't just about sweating a lot on the field. It's an incredibly precise architecture of micro-disciplines. And it starts right here, 7, every single morning at 7 a.m. And let me tell you, it doesn't start with hitting the snooze button. It starts with cold showers and ice baths to aggressively force his body to wake up and speed up his muscle recovery. Then, as he goes throughout the day, he's eating 5 to 7 small meals. And he's not just eyeballing his portions either. Everything is meticulously calculated. He knows the exact grams of protein, carbs, and fats his body needs to perform at a superhuman level. To him, it's fuel. It's not just food. And then there's this absolutely staggering statistic, 30 to 40. That is the number of short naps he takes in a single week. Now, he already sleeps 8 to 9 hours a night, but he supplements it constantly. Why? Because he inherently understands that recovery is where champions are actually made. His recovery is calculated, it's highly aggressive, and it is entirely non-negotiable.
And this brilliantly illustrates a massive paradigm shift. Most people out there view rest as an excuse for lazy procrastination. You know, sitting on the couch, endlessly scrolling on your phone, binge-watching TV. But for Ronaldo, rest is strategic recovery. The guy hasn't had a real week off in years. Not because he can't afford a vacation, obviously, but because rest without purpose is completely useless to it. While others are sleeping in or making excuses, champions are actively preparing.
So I'm going to turn this around on you for a second. What are you doing today that your competition is not doing? Are your daily micro-disciplines compounding into extraordinary results? Or are you kind of just doing what everyone else does and somehow expecting a different outcome?
Section 3. Turning criticism into rocket fuel.
We have to shift to a critical turning point in his career. The year is 2009. 80 million pounds. That was the world record transfer fee to bring him to Real Madrid. Now, with that kind of money comes a crushing, almost unimaginable amount of doubt. The Spanish media openly questioned if he was actually good enough for La Liga. The fans questioned if he was worth that astronomical price tag. Literally, the weight of the sporting world was squarely on his shoulders. Most players would completely crumble under that. Ronaldo? He answered the doubt by scoring 42 goals in his very first season.
So how exactly did he do it? Well, he understands that mental toughness is a skill you build. It is absolutely not something you're magically born with. He takes criticism professionally, but never personally. When he misses a penalty, he doesn't spiral into a pit of shame, and he definitely doesn't make excuses. No, he goes straight to the tape, breaks down his own failure, adapts his technique, and then practices it until it becomes second nature.
Champions don't feel failure. They fear regret. I want you to hold on to that thought. The fear of failure stops most people from ever even trying. But the fear of regret, that haunting, agonizing thought of waking up years from now wondering, what if I had just given it my absolute all? That is the exact fear that drives Ronaldo relentlessly forward.
Section 4. Vision, legacy, and constant evolution. Look, we're talking about a man who is still operating at an elite, record-breaking level at 38 years old. You don't defy the aging process and athletic decline by accident. You do it by setting crystal-clear goals. 5 Ballon d'Or wins. Back in 2008, he didn't just have some vague dream of being a really good player. Vague dreams produce vague results. Instead, he set a specific time-bound goal to win the Ballon d'Or. And then he visualized it over and over again until his brain accepted it as an absolute inevitability. Every meal, every drill, every single nap was aligned to that singular metric.
Stagnation is death. Adaptation is life. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it perfectly captures the true secret to his longevity. Ronaldo completely reinvented his playing style. When he was young, he was this tricky, explosive winger. But when he naturally lost just a fraction of that raw speed, did he fade away? No way. He transformed himself into a lethal, incredibly efficient striker in the box so he could keep winning championships across 3 completely different countries and leagues.
So who is he really playing against at this point? I mean, he already has all the money, all the fame, and all the respect. He's not really competing against the other guys on the pitch anymore. He is competing against the history books. He's competing against his own previous records. So I have to ask you, are you wasting your energy comparing yourself to your coworkers or your competitors? Or are you focused entirely on building your own internal legacy and competing against your own ultimate potential?
Section 5. The Ultimate System of Excellence.
If you step back and synthesize this entire methodology we've just covered, you realize there is no magic trick. There is no secret supplement. It's an obsessive mindset. Relentless discipline in the micro details, mental toughness that turns hate into pure fuel, crystal clear goals, and constant reinvention. When you stack all of these pillars together, you don't just get a workout routine. You get an unbreakable lifestyle system. It is a complete way of being.
Excellence is non-negotiable. So the crucial point is, he isn't waiting around to feel inspired. He doesn't need external motivation. He has simply made a concrete decision that pushing beyond comfortable limits is the baseline standard for his life. And you don't need to be a professional athlete to apply this. You just have to decide that in whatever field you are in, excellence is your non-negotiable standard.
We've decoded the system. The secrets are laid bare. The blueprint for elite excellence is right in front of you. The path is crystal clear. The only question left to answer is, will you walk it? Let that sit with you. Take a hard look at your daily system